In this video, I'm talking about exactly what it's like living in the Finger Lakes from a local who was born and raised here. Let's get into it. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you're notified every Tuesday and Thursday that I release a new video. And with that being said, as much as I love making these videos, I would love even more to help you with those real estate needs. So that information that's popping up at the bottom of your screen, I am the guy that answers those texts, emails, and phone calls. Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, I am happy to help. It's never too soon to get the process started. So without further ado, I'm talking about exactly what it's like living in the Finger Lakes region in 2023. And so first things first, we're going to be talking about the beautiful landscapes of the Finger Lakes. The Finger Lakes is known for its natural beauty and just the natural landscapes around here. We have beautiful rolling hills and mountainsides overlooking the lakes. There are 11 Finger Lakes in the Finger Lakes region. So the scenery is just unbeatable. You literally can't beat it unless you're going to like the Pacific coast or, you know, even parts of the East Coast overlooking the ocean or something like that, right? It's the next best thing to what you would consider like an ocean view or, you know, whatever the views are that you like, we've got it here. So from the mountaintops or just from lakeside looking up at the mountains, right? You've got everything. Rolling hills into vineyards, and you can be at breweries and looking over the vineyards. You could be at breweries looking over the hills and the lake. It's just amazing here, and the air is so fresh and clear, and you know, it's not real smoggy or anything. So your views aren't being dampened by a bunch of smoke and, you know, manufacturing kind of BS, right? So the landscapes, I think, are the first things to touch on, and it's amazing here. If there's plenty of scenic lookouts, you can go overlook the hills and the lake and the water. Just, it's amazing. And because of the beautiful landscape and the rolling hills and the mountains, you really get a rural, small town feel here. You know, just to kind of elaborate upon that, I've had friends who have come from out of state, you know, from California and Texas and North Carolina, and they have come to the area and they said that we're living in the country up here. I don't think it's necessarily living in the country, but you know, that being said, our older brother lives out in Arizona right now. He's about to be moving back, and comparatively, you know, where he is in Arizona, this is very country for him, you know, whereas, you know, that's like Scottsdale, you got a big city there. But, you know, a lot of people who come here from out of state, from different cities or towns, they feel that the Finger Lakes is very, very rural, very country, and it just creates that down home kind of hometown feel. Everybody's kind of close knit. Everyone kind of knows each other, which can be a good thing, can be a bad thing, right? Depending on, you know, your local politics and things like that, right? So it's very small town feel, very rural feel, very country kind of feeling, with the short escape to the city if you want that, or you like that kind of thing, or you want to go experience kind of like the nightlife, or, you know, the bar crawls, things like that, right? So it's just a short drive away, but, you know, overall it is a really nice rural suburban feel. And I mentioned the escapes to Rochester and even maybe Syracuse. So, you know, we're talking about the proximity and the ease of commute to the major cities around here, right? The Finger Lakes, all you have to do is really hop on I-90, which is the thruway, and it'll take you to Rochester, Buffalo, or Syracuse, or Albany. And so Syracuse is about an hour drive, depending on where you are in the Finger Lakes. From my area in the Finger Lakes, Canandaigua Lake, right? You're about an hour drive to Syracuse. You're about a 20 to 30 minute drive to Rochester or so, something like that. And then you're about another hour to an hour and a half to Buffalo. Albany is about 3 hours. So, but it's literally all just a straight shot. So Rochester is, you take I-90 and you hop off onto the expressway, which is still a straight shot, and you go right up into the city. So it's, you know, super easy commute, super quick commute if you work in the city, or you work in one of those cities, or you want to escape to, say, a Buffalo Bills game, or you want to go to a Syracuse Orange game, or, just go to the city for the nightlife or maybe a business trip or whatever. It's a short drive. It's an easy commute. You're not going to be on the road for hours and hours and hours. It's super easy, super quick. So then kind of going back to the fact that, it's a rural landscape around here and just the beauty of the landscape around here, it brings us to local breweries and wineries. In the area, we have no shortage. We're actually one of the largest producers of wine here on the East Coast. And, the Finger Lakes region is the Napa Valley of the East Coast. So you're not going to beat it unless you go to Napa Valley in California. And so local wineries and breweries are just bar none. You literally can't beat them. A lot of them are overlooking the lakes or they're on the lake directly. They have, games like cornhole that you can play or ladder ball or, literally anything you want, as well as it brings out the local music scene. A bunch of local artists will go to the breweries and wineries and they'll go play. And, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday, even Sunday nights, some weeknights, you'll have local artists just going and playing and, they'll be accepting tips or whatever the case is. But really everybody just goes and they just want to have a good time and enjoy, tasting the beers and tasting the wines and, doing that kind of thing and just enjoying what the area has to offer, because there is a lot. And, just spending good time with good friends and good people is really what this area is about, which brings me to the next point is the people in the Finger Lakes. It's a very laid back feel here. Being rural area, kind of more like a country area, everybody is like super friendly. Until you get into the cities where it's a little bit more upbeat and stuff, things in the Finger Lakes are a little bit slower. They're a little bit more laid back. People are going to be more friendly. They're going to give you more time of day. And, you're not going to feel like everybody's just rushing you through and, on to the next conversation, on to the next meeting, on to this, on to that. Everybody is very friendly. You're not going to have an issue getting along with people or meeting new friends if you're new to the area, and you're not going to have a hard time finding a good time, right? In finding good people to be around. So I think that's super important when you're considering moving to a new area. And so the next point, I will say there is quite a bit of local political division, right? So in the Finger Lakes, a lot of the time, most people abide by live and let live. Most of us, you live your life, I live my life, like don't push our lives onto each other kind of thing, and like just go about your life and treat people like people. That's what we believe in. You get more toward the cities a little bit, and that's where like the Finger Lakes and the cities kind of clash as far as political division. People have their beliefs and more toward the city, or any of the cities, but even in the Finger Lakes a little bit, sometimes the political rivalries, if you will start to feel like that. They will start to, we saw it a lot during COVID. We saw it, a lot during like the protests and the riots and whatnot. There could be a good amount of division going on, but that being said, it's gonna be nothing like what you're experiencing in many other towns and cities that are much larger, right? It's nothing like that. Again, most people here abide by live and let live. You do you, I'll do me, I live my life, you live your life type thing, and we can still be friends. And that's the greatest part about here is that even if you disagree on whatever topic, you can still be friends, you can still communicate cordially, and you can still be good people, right? And most of the time, that's what you're going to experience in this area. Moving right along, this area is a huge Buffalo Bills fan. Bills Mafia is very strong here, and obviously I'm wearing the Bills sweatshirt right now, not even football season. Like the Bills in Rochester and the Finger Lakes region are easily the most popular sports team in the area. You can't drive more than maybe, I don't know, 0.01 of a mile without seeing a Bills sticker, a Bills flag, a Bills logo somewhere, right? It's plastered all over vehicles, license plates, storefronts, right? Like it's a staple here in the Finger Lakes. The Bills are all we got. We have some minor league teams. We have the Buffalo Sabres as well. So one Buffalo is a big thing between the Sabres and the Bills, but the Bills are like just that much more of a thing here than the Sabres. Like it's it's a noticeable difference. Obviously, hockey is a smaller market than football is, but the Bills here, like, if you're not a Bills fan, chances are you're gonna get bullied. You know, not really, but like it's going to be an ongoing joke for you. It's going to be an ongoing thing where you're going to get teased about it because everybody here are diehard Bills fans. And again, if you're not, you're just like not one of us, kind of. And I say that facetiously, but it's a staple around here, and it's, to us, it's very important. Just sports is one of those things that brings communities together, and the Buffalo Bills are that thing around here. And so it's super important to us. If you move to the area and you're not used to seeing so much of a single team logo, you're in for a awakening here, because you're going to see it. And so moving right along, next thing on the list is going to be academics and taxes. So in New York State as a whole, New York State is one of the best states for academics, for education and higher education. So really, no matter what schools your kids are going to be going to, they're going to be getting a great education, especially here in the Finger Lakes and Rochester regions. Your schools are just top tier, really, no matter where you go. And, that includes academics and, music and the arts and sports as well. Everything is just phenomenal around here. But what goes along with that is going to be higher taxes. We live in New York State. It's a political state, and taxes are abundant here. So you will be paying considerable amount more in taxes. One perk to that is probably the better education. I'd imagine. I would hope that a lot of our tax dollars are going to making the schools better, and I believe that for the most part they are. But property taxes are going to be a little bit higher. Just you're taxed on literally everything here, so it is a little bit more expensive as far as taxes go. But to balance that out, this area has a lower cost of living than a majority of the United States. I think it's like, I'm really right now in 2023, I'm seeing anywhere between like 11 and 15% lower than the national average as far as cost of living. So while you do have those higher taxes, it balances it out with the lower cost of living. You're still living here cheaper than you would be in other metros or other areas like, say Colorado or other parts of maybe the Carolinas or Tennessee or wherever. Like, you're still living cheaper than a majority of other places in the United States. So while you do have the higher taxes, there are some benefits like better schools. The roadways really aren't that bad. The highway systems aren't that bad, and you still have the low cost of living here. So it's really not that big of a deal. And so when talking about what it's like living in the Finger Lakes, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the cold weather and the snow. You have to make it a part of your lifestyle here. If you don't, you're going to be miserable. The second I stopped doing winter activities is the second that I started dreading the wintertime. Of course, everybody loves the warm weather. You can get outside, you can do things, not be shivering all the time, right? You can wear comfortable clothes. You don't have to wear coats all the time. Like, yes, but the winter is just a natural fact here. We're gonna get snow, we're gonna get cold weather, and it lingers around, and it's gloomy here. So you have to make sure that you're doing, winter activities, skiing, snowboarding, snowshoeing, anything that you can do in the wintertime, you have to make sure you're doing it. Snowmobiling, like the motorsports are big in the wintertime around here. So you have to make sure you're doing that, or else you're going to go crazy, because it's gloomy, it's cold, it can get miserable. Around here, just being just barely further away from Buffalo than Rochester is, like, we're getting a little bit more like rain than snow. And so your rain and then freezing temperature, so things kind of ice over, and then you get some snow that the snow covers the ice, but once you get below the surface of the snow, you hit ice. And it makes snowboarding and skiing a little bit more miserable, because the snow is going to be a hard, compact, granular, kind of like ice balls type thing. So they say if you can ski the east, you can ski anywhere, which is 100% true. We went out to Colorado when we were very young, and it was just so much easier. Like, the snow was so much better. They're pampered out there as far as the snow goes. So while they get a lot of it, the sun is always out there, and it's a lot softer. So if you can ski the east, you can ski anywhere. But again, you have to make sure that you get out and do things, because we do get quite a bit of snow. We do get quite a bit of freezing rain and cold weather, and it goes on for about 6 months or so. So like 6 to 8 months probably. So you need to make use of it. You have to be productive during it, or else you're going to get depressed, you're going to go crazy, and it's just not going to be a good time. You're going to want to move instantly. So make sure you're doing stuff during the winter time. You'll thank me later. And last but not least, if you're living in the Finger Lakes, you have to experience the lake life. It is just part of our lifestyle out here. You have to get on a boat. If you have a friend that has a boat, or if you have a family member, or you have a boat, you have to get out on the lakes. You have to go out. Like Canandaigua Lake has a sandbar that, you know, during the summer months, people will go and they'll link the boats up, and they'll have like boat party type things. They'll play music, they'll enjoy the time with their friends. And you know, there's some sections where there's younger kids, like maybe college kids or young adults, that maybe they're having too much fun, right? But then there's sections over, you know, a little bit ways away on the sandbar where it's more family fun. And you know, they have the pontoon boats with the slide going down into the water. And, you know, it's just more family fun. It's more responsible fun. It's more laid back and calm kind of thing, where you can just enjoy the water, enjoy the warm weather, and just have fun with your family, right? But then you can go out on the lake and you go tubing, you can go water skiing, wakeboarding, wake skating, fishing, right? Anything, canoeing, kayaking. The waterways like are the absolute thing around here that drives the most people here. The lakes are, you know, we're the Finger Lakes for a reason, and it's a huge tourist hub for a reason. It's because people love getting on the lakes. They love the views of the lakes. They love boating, fishing. Literally, lake life is life in the Finger Lakes. So you can't come here and not go on the lakes. It's just a staple. You have to. So that being said, guys, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you're notified every Tuesday and Thursday that I release a new video. And as much as I love making these videos, I would love even more to help you with those real estate needs. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, I would love to be the team of choice to help you relocate here, move your family here, and make it as smooth as possible. So reach out to the information that's on the bottom of your screen. I am the guy that answers those texts, emails, and phone calls. So until the next video, guys, hope you have a great one. See ya.